Hayley here. I hope you're all well. Today then I'm going to be making a Christmas card. Now I'm at the back end of my Christmas card making, thankfully, because I feel like I've been doing it forever. But I make lots of Christmas cards. I have quite a few. Well, I've got stalls every week selling my cards, and also I sell into a few shops as well. So it's an incredibly busy time, but coming to like late November, that's when the sort of Christmas card making stops, and I start to make my own personal items then for Christmas. And I like to make like handmade bags and tags, gift boxes. I make all my packaging for Christmas. So throughout December I tend to do my own sort of personal Christmas crafting. So today I thought I'd just go through one of the Christmas cards that I've made, and this is I think it's a beautiful one, but really simple, easy to make and easy to batch make too. So I'm going to show you some products of what I've used. So to do this card then, I've used this Winter Wonderland, and this is by Dovecraft. Now this is an older paper pad, but it's one of my favourites. There's not actually many sheets left on this one. I've made quite a lot from it, but I'm going to use one of the sheets from here. I've just got some cards. I've got some white card, some dark denim foundation card, and some holographic mirror card. I've got an old embossing folder, and when I say old, this embossing folder must be about 15 years old, and I still love it because it's A4 in size, and I think I got this from the range, like I say, maybe 15 years ago, and it's like a sweater type pattern. It's really lovely, and I always use this, and I always pull this one out for Christmas, because I can put pretty much any size piece of card in here, or even a couple of pieces, and do them both at the same time. So I love this one, so I'm going to use this. I've also got some dies here for the main focal image, and these are they were from Amazon, and I think they're called squirrels. They're just like a sort of a rounded shape. I really like them. For the decoration, I'm going to use the Creative Expressions Die to Dot collection, which is the baubles. I'm just going to use this bauble here. And then again, just to further decorate, I'm going to use the Jamie Rogers Florist collection, the fern dies, and the Jamie Rogers Florist collection, the traditional poinsettia. I'm going to cut this poinsettia out and lay that up. I have the Crafter's Companion small embellishment bows. I think these are beautiful. I love these bows, and I'm just going to use this smaller bow here. And then the very last thing, this is from a crafting magazine. These were Lisa Horton dies, and I'm just going to use this Merry Christmas sentiment banner here. So they're all the products, and again, this is the card that we are going to make. So let's jump in and get started. Right, okay, so to start this card, I'm going to use, this is a UK A5 shop bought pre-made card. And I'm just going to make some mats and layers for the background. So I'm cut down this holographic piece, and this is 5.5 by 8 inches. And I'm going to take a piece from this pattern paper. I'm actually going to use this piece here, and this pattern paper is 8 by 8 in size, and I'm going to cut this down to 5.25 by 7.75 inches, like so. So that's going to be my two background layers. Then I'm also going to have another just two mats and layers in the background I'm going to take another piece of holographic and I'm going to cut that to 4.5 inches by 6 3/4 inches. Like so. And I'm going to take a piece of white card. I'm going to cut the white card to 4 3/8. 4, 1, 2, 3, 8. By 6 5/8. There we go. And this white piece, just move this away. This white piece is the piece that I'm going to run through an embossing folder. So I'm going to pop that in. And you will need an A4 machine and plates to be able to use a larger embossing folder like this. So I'm just going to run that through the machine. Right, so I've run that through the machine. And can you see the detail in that embossing folder? And it's like a knit kind of texture. It's beautiful. I love this one. So I'm going to get those both matted together and popped onto the base card. Right, okay, so I've got those pieces now laid onto the base card, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the I guess a landing spot for the actual focal image, and I'm going to use these ovals. I'm going to take the largest from the set and I'm going to cut that out with a piece of holographic mirror card, and I'm going to take the second one down and I'm going to cut that from a piece of this blue. So I'm going to go now and get those run through the die cutting machine. Okay, so I have those two cut out now, so I'm just going to remove them. That one's just not quite, it's just holding on by just a tiny little fraction, so I'm just going to remove that there. And this one too. I run these both through together, so I think I've just not quite got the pressure right on my machine on this particular one, but just a tiny little snip and that'll release there. Okay, so I've got those two and I'm going to layer them together. I'm going to glue this one and I'm going to keep it flat. Lovely, and then I'm just going to pop a little bit of foam tape on the back of this one, and I'm running out of foam tape, so we'll just go with this this one that I've got here. Just pop a little bit on the back of here. Like so. And then can add that into the center of the card there. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the focal image, which is that bauble. So I've got the bauble die set here. I'm going to use this smaller bauble from the set, and I'm going to cut this out in the holographic mirror card, and then I'm just going to cut a circle to back it in the white card too. So I'll just get that set up. Right, okay, so I've run that through with the mirror card and I'm just going to pop that out of the die and just poke out any of these little pieces still left in here, like so. And isn't that beautiful? Now the idea of these dies, if you can see here, they've got little I guess spaces on the die cut where you can actually pop some gems or pearls, and I am going to do that. I've got some pearls, and I'm not going to fill in every little one, but I'm going to fill in with some pearls for that. The only thing that I'm going to do, so I'm going to stick this to a piece of white card, and to do that I'm going to use the Crafter's Companion. This is the dotty tape runner. Now for intricate die cuts like this, it's perfect, because just bring this piece of paper in, because the sticky dots only stick to where there's cards, so any of the gaps in between it doesn't stick, which means you don't see any of the adhesive from the front side of it, and it just makes it so much easier. So I'm just going to stick that then onto a piece of white card, and I'll just quickly trim that out a little there. And we're going to take my scissors just on a slight angle, and I'm just going to trim around that die cut, so it's got the backing of the white, but obviously the detail of the holographic. Now I'm a very slow fussy cutter, so bear with me, but just take your time and make sure you're not cutting into your die cut and there's none of that white edge showing around the outside, like so, and that seems to look okay to me. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my pearls and I'm just going to embellish this a little bit. Right, okay, so I've got some pearls here, and this is just from this is a Chloe's Creative Cards, and it's an embellishment box. It's a bling box. So I'm just going to take some of these pearls, and these are AB coated pearls, pop them into my little triangle tray there, and pop a little bit of glue on the areas where I want some of those pearls, like so. I'm just going to take a pickup tool and pop some pearls over those areas. Again, this isn't necessary. You don't have to do this. The die cut looks beautiful as it is. I like a little bling, especially with it being Christmas card. And I think I'm just going to keep it really simple and just pop another larger one there in the centre. And I think this is actually my my very last one. I need to get some more of these AB ones. Okay, so that is a focal image, and I think that is so pretty, so beautiful, and that is going to go then. So I'm going to stick that to the centre, and I'm going to put that onto there like so. So now I want to add my bow and the foliage and a little poinsettia, just to sort of embellish it a little. Right, so what I've got then is just a scrap piece of white card, and I'm going to take a poinsettia die, and this is just one die that will cut multiple flowers in one pass. And I'm going to cut that piece out. And I'm also going to cut the fern die. Now I might be able to, yeah, I'll be able to get those both pieces on that one piece of card there. So I'm going to run them through the machine, and I'm also going to take the small embellishment bow die and this smaller die here, and I'm going to cut that out in a piece of holographic card too. Okay, so I've run those through the machine now, and I'm just taking those out. So I'm going to, I can't see, so I'm going to take my pokey tool and just tease those out of the die there. Now these ferns are very delicate, so do be careful when you're poking them out. Just a piece left in there. Now I do actually only want these two smaller branches here, so I'm going to remove those and keep them safe in a little, I have a little tub full of like extra little embellishment from when I'm cutting things out. These are the poinsettias, so I'm just going to pop those out too. Like so. I've got all these poinsettias. I'm not going to use that large one. I'm just going to use I'm not even sure I'm going to use that one. I might just use those two together, and maybe the little centre, and then I've just got the holographic bow too, so pop that out of the die also. These little pieces, oops, just pop out like so. So all I'm going to do with the poinsettia is I'm just going to give it a little bit of shape. So I'm just going to take my tweezers, hold them and pinch down the centre and pinch together. Just really simple. Like so, and I'm going to do that for the other one, and I'm going to get those glued together and laid up. Okay, so I've got those two laid together now, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my bling box again, and I'm just going to take one of those little AB pearls, pop some glue into the centre of that flower, get my pick up tool and add that little pearl into the middle there. Oops. Give that a minute to set and dry. Right, so I'm just going to move that to one side. Put those away before I spill them everywhere. Okay, so we have all our little pieces now. So I'm going to bring the card back in. This isn't glued down yet, so. Okay, so I'm going to have the bauble hanging about there. I'm going to tuck this fern foliage just underneath there, so it sort of comes out from the sides. I'm going to pop my bow on top and then my poinsettia on the top of there like so. So I'm going to do that again now with some 3D glue gel, and I'm going to get all those pieces popped into place. I'm going to pop some foam pads onto the back of this bauble too. I'll get all those stuck down and this piece, and I'll come back to you. Right, so I've got all that glued down now, and just be very gentle with that because the glue gel does need quite a bit of time to set. So I'm just going to pop that to one side, and I'm going to bring in this Merry Christmas sentiment die. It's an older one. It's just from a paper crafting magazine, and I really like this one. It's just enough detail. So I'm going to run it through with the holographic mirror card. Okay, so I've got that one cut. And if I just remove that from the die, my pokey tool, release that there. You will see it's just a really delicate little banner die that just says Merry Christmas. So all I'm going to do for that is I'm just going to bring in a piece of scrap white card. Trying to get one here from my desk. These are the ones that have still got those frames in. Just be very gentle with that. I'm just going to chop a little bit off here actually. It'll be easier. Okay, like so. Right, so again, I'm going to use my Crafter's Companion dot tape pen, sorry, and put plenty of sticky on there. I'm going to attach this, so all it's doing is just backing those words. I'm just going to cut it there, so it isn't going to show outside of where that banner is. And I'm going to take my scissors and again just slightly angle them underneath that die cut and run along that edge with the scissors, and that will give me my lovely Merry Christmas sentiment. Now I believe I have some very small little foam squares. Let me just see if I could get those out. Got some foam squares here, and I'm going to pop a couple on the back of there, and it just fits the width of that piece there, so that's good. Put some foam pads on the back of there. One more, like so. And I'll bring that card back in, and I'm going to have this sentiment just sat underneath that bauble. So I'm just removing the backs from these foam pads. It's always the hardest thing to do. And I'm going to pop that, try and get that straight, pop that sentiment underneath the bauble there, and there we have it. There's the card made. Now I think that's really pretty. If you took away the flower, I mean, you don't have to. It could be masculine, feminine, it could be for anybody, whoever you want this card to go for. That's why it's a really good one for batch making if you're making quite a lot at Christmas, because you could just repeat these. You could mass cut out your flowers, your bow, your foliage, your actual bauble die, your little elements, your mats and layers, and just lay them all up together on like a, you know, like a production line style type thing, because that's what I do when I'm making a huge amount of cards. I just prep each step. I cut loads out, and then I just continue making each one. So yes, so there we have it. I will be back soon for another video. I think I'm going to do another Christmas one, because I've still got a few more left to make. So until then, thank you for watching. Bye bye.